तो चंद्र सर जो है अभी ये गोल्ड मेडल और हर तरह के मेडल की एकदम फैक्ट्री बने हुए हैं.
Mostly physics, but a bare minimum of chemistry and maths every day.
Your study duration, your study time was always devoted to
1.5 hours physics, 1.5 hours chemistry, 1.5 hours maths.
So, hello dear viewers, and today मेरे साथ है रिद्धेश बेंडाले, जिसने अभी रिसेंटली IPHO 2025 में गोल्ड मेडल जीता है. एंड इनकी जर्नी हम पूरी निकालेंगे, इनसे बात करेंगे. काफी इंस्पिरेशनल स्टोरी है. और इनके साथ है चंदन सैनी सर, हु इज हिज मेंटर फॉर IPHO प्रिपरेशन. सो चंदन सर, वुड यू लाइक टू से हाय टू आवर व्यूअर्स?
Hi everyone.
तो चंदन सर जो है अभी ये गोल्ड मेडल और हर तरह के मेडल की एकदम फैक्ट्री बने हुए हैं वेदांतु के अंदर. इनके स्टूडेंट्स ने, जैसे दिस इज द सेकंड IPHO गोल्ड मेडल दैट योर स्टूडेंट इज विनिंग, राइट चंदन सर?
Yes, sir.
इसके अलावा his student has won gold medal in International Astronomy Olympiad, Biology Olympiad. वेदांत सागर उसको सर ने मेंटर किया था. ठीक है, दो स्टूडेंट्स ने जूनियर एस्ट्रोनॉमी में मेडल जीते हुए हैं. ठीक है, और अभी एक स्टूडेंट है जो IGSO में पार्टिसिपेट कर रही है. अस्मी का रिजल्ट अभी ड्यू है. सो ही इज द फैक्ट्री फॉर मेडल्स इन वेदांतु. ठीक है, हो सकता है मैंने कुछ स्किप भी कर दिया, मैंने एक आध कुछ फॉरगेट भी करके. चंद्र सर को लग रहा है कि मैं कुछ भूल गया हूँ शायद. APHO
Yes. Riddhesh and Dhruv also won
APHO medal.
medals also.
रिद्धेश ने APHO में सिल्वर मेडल जीता हुआ है एंड ध्रुव ने गोल्ड मेडल जीता था. तो बहुत सारे मेडल्स हैं बच्चों. ठीक है, अभी हम बात करते हैं रिद्धेश के ऊपर. रिद्धेश की जर्नी जो है उससे स्टार्ट करेंगे. तो सबसे पहले मैं रिद्धेश एक बार वैसे जानना चाहूंगा कि अभी आप कौन सी सिटी में हैं, अभी कौन सी ग्रेड में हैं, आपका अल्टीमेट एम क्या है. तो वहां से मैं स्टार्ट करूंगा. मे बी थोड़ा व्यूअर्स को अपने बारे में बताइए.
मेरा नाम रिद्धेश बेंडाले है और इंट्रोडक्शन तो ज्यादा जरूरत नहीं है. अभी मैं घर पे हूँ अपने और ग्रेड 12th में जस्ट एंटर किया मैंने. आई एम प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर JEE. दैट्स द लोकल एम फॉर नेक्स्ट ईयर.
ओके रिद्धेश, तो अभी जो आपकी IPHO की साइकिल थी, जैसे अभी आपने रिसेंटली गोल्ड मेडल जीता है, ये साइकिल स्टार्ट कौन से महीने में हुई थी, और मतलब कि आप उस समय कौन सी ग्रेड में थी जब ये साइकिल स्टार्ट हुई थी, और अभी आप करंट कौन सी ग्रेड में हो?
So I started the preparation when I was in grade 10th, about the same time of the year, May, June, July. And from then I've been studying physics, a bit of chemistry and maths. And till now, I am in grade 12th now, so about 2 years.
आपने जो फर्स्ट एग्जाम अपीयर किया था उस समय आप ग्रेड 11 में थे, जो व्हाट आई एम अंडरस्टैंडिंग.
Yep, the NSEP I gave in 11.
So that is the first stage. That is the first stage of the exam जो आपने 11th पे थे. आपने दिया था नवंबर के महीने में दिया था. एंड देन दैट साइकिल इज गोइंग ऑन, लाइक उसमें अलग अलग मल्टी स्टेज एग्जाम है. तो नवंबर में NSEP दिया, फिर सेकंड स्टेज इज INPHO जो आपने शायद फरवरी में दिया. एंड देन यू वेंट टू द कैंप एंड देन यू पार्टिसिपेटेड इन IPHO, like after getting selected in the Indian contingent. So it's about I would say 8-month period that the entire process goes on, the cycle goes on.
The Olympiad process, yeah, 8 months.
यस, ओके, ऑलराइट. सो रिद्धेश, हम बात करेंगे सबसे पहले आपकी जो प्रिपरेशन की जर्नी में जिस तरह से आपने तैयारी करी उसकी मैं बात करता हूँ. ठीक है, तो लेट्स स्टार्ट विथ योर वीकली रूटीन. ठीक है, कि आपका जो वीकली रूटीन रहता है वो किस तरह का रहता है जनरली, और अगर वो मान लो चेंज हो रहा है, कि जैसे स्टेज वाइज अगर वो चेंज हुआ है, ओवरऑल पिक्चर की मतलब कि एक ब्रॉडली अगर मैं उसको डिस्क्राइब करना चाहूँ तो हाउ वुड इट लुक लाइक?
So I'll start from grade 10.
Okay.
Because a lot of viewers would be from that. Grade 10 mein I used weekly main goal was like go to school in morning and then study physics the rest of the day, and study for school exams if required, if there are any unit tests or something. That was it. Wasn't much interesting or something, but yeah, I was studying physics. So then when I entered grade 11th, I started studying chemistry and math as well, a bit seriously for JEE. So my weekly schedule would be like study mostly physics, but a bare minimum of chemistry and maths every day, and then give tests on Sunday. So I used to give like about one JEE test or two JEE tests on Sunday. And if I had time and energy, I would give maybe some physics problem kind of test, but it wasn't that frequent. Then before NSEP, about for 1 month, my schedule was like I used to mainly just solve problems in physics, and chemistry and maths is in the background. It's like bare minimum जो चल रहा है वो चल ही रहा है. In physics, thing is कि I am mostly solving objective problems, increasing my speed, and on Sundays I'm giving more tests. Almost after a point I was giving NSEP tests almost daily, the tests as well as the past year papers. Then after NSEP till INPHO, it was similar, but I had been solving subjective problems now, more INPHO relevant problems, and doing the past year papers and some other Olympiads books. then that has been the thing. I had weekly targets ki is week mein itna karna hai and something. Most of the time I used to fulfill that. After NPHO till OCSC, I studied less intensely as compared to NSEP and INPhO, but yeah, I did study a bit. I was more kind of focused a bit on chemistry and math as well. But yeah, I also studied physics, mostly solved problems, comprehensive problems, and I did some theory which is not in INPhO but is required for OCSC and everything, like relativity, etc. Then after after OCSC, once I was in the IPHO team and back from EPHO, I was mostly studying chemistry and math, and daily I used to solve some specific amount of problems for physics, like maybe past year IPHO problems or some other Olympiad problems, something like that. But yeah, and after IPHO, here I am.
So Riddhesh, if I heard you correctly, what you are saying is कि INPhO में select होने के बाद तुम chemistry और maths पे ज़्यादा focus कर रहे थे और
relatively more.
relatively
I would say after OCSC actually.
Huh.
Because I think during the time between INPhO and APHO, I think there were like a few topics that you kind of like spend a lot of time brushing up on your theory, doing extra stuff. So relativity is totally new, which we don't study for INPhO preparation, right? So I think some time went on to studying the theory for that, and then problem solving related to that. And optics, I think we did from Ajoy Ghatak, so I think that also took some time. A lot of chapters from there, and then I guess like a bit of thermodynamics also brushing up on that, Bendale's last chapters and stuff, right?
Yeah, rotations
and then general rotations, I think it also took around 1-2 weeks time, I guess. So like yeah, it's a lot of studying.
But after OCSC and APHO, relatively more chemistry, but physics was still major, like more than 50% of my time.
So like if I broadly classify, like in the entire journey, right, from your grade 10, more than 50% of your study time was always devoted to physics. You know, sometimes it was 70%, sometimes maybe it was 65, sometimes it was 80%, but your study duration, your study time was always devoted to, you know, more than half of it was devoted to physics is what, again, in terms of if I have to quantify the hours that you have invested, so that is the overall thing that has happened.
Yeah. So because I used to ensure that I am doing the bare minimum in chem and math, then the remaining time all I'm doing is physics.
So like sir, if I put it into number, we kind of like made the schedule like something like this. So like as in 10th, we were just like, okay, just enjoying the physics, not very rigorously doing, I would say, the Olympiad preparation thingy. From November, like when Riddhesh got selected in NSEA when he was in class 10th. So afterwards, I think from December, January, February, March, April, and up till OCSC of astronomy, I think that period we mostly focused on astronomy.
Okay.
And during that period, I think Riddhesh did like a lot of IPHO, APHO problems also, which were like have common syllabus between physics and astronomy. So then I think they switched back to physics somewhere in like the June start, kind of. And from June to, I would say like till INPHO, I think we had more or less 4 to 5 hours of physics work daily, Olympiad work. And we used to like say like, okay, that you divide your time something like this. Like, let's say if you have n hours of classes, let's say physics, chemistry, math, then you should at least spend around n hours doing their homework. And then the rest of the time. So let's say a student has around 4.5 hours of classes. So 1.5 hours physics, 1.5 hours chemistry, 1.5 hours maths. So around 4.5 hours of classes. So around 4 to 5 hours should go into doing that homework. So that's like the bare minimum that you should always do. And then apart from that, obviously like 9 plus 4 is like 13. So like that extra 4 hours you could spend on Physics Olympiad preparation. So he's being modest, but yeah, means like he did that much study because like the sheets that the work that we kind of like assigned to do daily, so it required that much time. Right. So like along with one more thing I would like to say that when Riddhesh was in class 11, means last year, I would say. So he was doing 12th syllabus in parallel to like doing like a level up kind of sheets of class 11th also. And then also like the class 12 syllabus. So he did that. And during like INPhO preparation, we kind of like did like a lot of Taiwan PHO problems, TST problems. So they were like around 20 assignments with this, right?
Oh yeah, 21, 22.
So I think more or less, I guess, 400 around problems on an average, like if we say around 20.
Yeah, each had I think 15 to 20.
Some had more than 20, some had like less than 20. So those assignments we did like to just get into the groove of like IPHO, INPHO type of problems. And I think Riddhesh also did around like 30 mocks of INPHO, including INPHO previous year, 2021 to 2024.
No, the previous years are not yet.
Yeah, it started from 2013. So more than 30 INPHO mocks.
Great. So this shows that it's not just a fluke, or it's like a lot of effort has to go if you are aiming for a medal for your country. So of course that shows up in the entire journey that you have told. So one thing that I was noticing is that there was always some maths and chemistry that was going on, which obviously point out to some parallel commitments, like maybe boards, maybe something like JEE or something. So do you have any other like targets like this, and how are you coping with them? Like, is that the only thing? Like mentally, how are you coping? Like time you were devoting it, but did it not put you off mentally that there is something else to be catered to?
I myself don't know how did I cope up, but it was like a daily thing. I come from once the classes end, I'm maybe having my lunch and getting a bit of rest, then do the maths, because maths वरना chemistry में नींद आती है. So do some maths. Once I'm out of that sleepiness and tiredness a bit, I would do a bit of chemistry and then do physics. I mean, as long as I could stay awake or something like that. Like, जितना काम है उतना करना. So it was not like I liked to do it most of the times, chemistry and math, but it was like I had to do, and physics was the primary thing to do, as I said, but it's like it was always the second thing which I would do. The first thing which I would ensure is कि maths और chemistry का पहले bare minimum हो जाए. Then because I know कि अगर मुझे physics करना है, then I love that subject enough that I can wake up 2 more hours to do it. But अगर मुझे chemistry करना है, then I know कि मैं तो सो जाऊंगा अगर कुछ भी हो जाए. I will say कि नहीं कल कर लेते. So I used to just do those things before कि भाई मुझे पता है कि ये करना ही है और मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगा अगर करना पड़ा तो. And then
so basically you incentivized yourself. The incentive was physics, that if I do my duties, if I fulfill my duties, I get to learn physics. I'll be able to devote my time to physics. So that is my incentive of fulfilling my duty. So that was the mantra that you were following.
In a sense, yeah.
So there is that like motivational books are like eat that frog. It's like you do the thing that you don't want to do as the first thing, and then the rest of the day, like you will have energy to do, or like obviously feel energized to do things.
I cannot deny doing physics. Yeah.
Okay. So like since you mentioned a book, are there any like what motivated? Like, is there a book, a movie that you saw, an incident that happened, a person that you saw, some achievement? So like what is the source of motivation, or what is the inspiration that, like, if there is any, like, so
I mean, the motivation, I would say it just comes from curiosity. So if you are curious enough, it would just go on. But to do the work and everything to solve things deliberately, there's no such motivation for me. It's just because I know that I love that thing, so I would just go on doing it. It's something like when you are playing cricket, let's say, after a point, like you are a batsman, let's say, after a point you are tired and you are all sweaty, but still you want to play it, and you cannot explain why, but yeah, you want to. So it's somewhat similar.
So it does look like you like cricket. I think you have a fair knowledge about cricket.
Not really.
Experience of batting, it seems.
It's an analogy.
But did you experience it yourself? Like, did you want to bat longer?
I have. I mean, I've played before.
In extracurriculars, Riddhesh is like a good tabla player.
Oh, nice.
So he does that like whenever, like, kind of.
So just how about you do a live performance for our audience one day?
That won't be possible because like I haven't practiced lately.
So if you ever want to explore that side also, then you will not have a problem finding audience. We'll arrange the audience for you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Chandra sir, this question is to you. Like, what is the single most impactful study habit that you see Riddhesh has, if he has any, which differentiates him from other students you have seen, like who have achieved success or who have tried as hard as Riddhesh is doing, but one thing that differentiates him from the others, if there is any?
So sir, I think in some other videos also, like we did talk about like the conceptual clarity that Riddhesh had, right? So I think this comes from like actually making each of your concept crystal clear and keep on building on that. So starting from the beginning, I think like we used to have these VPHO papers, Vedantu Physics Olympiad papers. So starting from VPHO1, I could see that clarity that he had in his concepts. So I think what everything that he does, like every chapter that he goes through, he kind of like had that crystal clarity in his concepts. And once he says like he's done with the concept, I can be sure of like, okay, he knows all of it. And moreover, I think in VPHO1 also, like the other day we were talking about it, there was a question that where the wheel was rolling and an insect was actually traveling along the spoke with constant velocity. So till that time we didn't did any rotation, right? We just did kinematics, and that was the question in VPHO. So like he was able to apply those kinematic concepts and was able to solve the rotational kinematics questions, even though we didn't actually cover that extensively in class. So he just applied the polar coordinates and solved the question. So I think that's one attribute I think that he has. And I would say like, I think everyone should study like this, so that like you should have clarity in each concept. And for like the other students also, I'm saying this, so that you should have clarity on whatever concept that you are studying. And then we'll keep on building like that, each one concept at a time. And at the end, I think you will have clarity in physics too.
Okay, great. Great, sir, great. Okay, sir, I want to know if there are any unconventional resources that you two have used to prepare. Like the conventional ones, most of the people know about that. Any unconventional resource or any approach that you have utilized, you have adopted in this journey? Riddhesh, maybe you want to take this question? No?
Okay, so again, like I would just like to say that because like JEE is our primary exam, right? And it's obviously is a career deciding exam. So we take it really, really seriously from day one on, right? So it kind of like shifts our focus to solving objective questions, lot of them, and really, really fast from day one. That's kind of thing that we do, right? But as we started doing physics, I think while doing it in class 10th, we didn't had that incentive. We just said like, okay, in class 10th, let's just enjoy physics. If a problem takes time, let's spend time on it. And because of that only, we had this VPHO thing. So like 20 problems, 25 problems, 3-4 days. So you could spend time on the problems, right? And because if you spend time with the problems, you get to actually know that if you have any conceptual holes, you could discuss that with your teammates and then get rid of those, right? So like in class 10 means we were mostly done with mechanics, right? So he could spend time actually building those concepts. And I think I remember like when we were doing rotational motion in the class, and the day that we were the rotational motion ended, so Riddhesh said, "अच्छा sir, rotation इतना सही होता है क्या?" I said, हाँ, मतलब हो गया, डन हो गया करके. तो फिर रिद्धेश बोलता है, तो फिर सर लोग इतना हाइप क्यों बना के रखते होते हैं रोटेशनल मोशन का? So I was like felt really happy that he said this thing, that it all is trivial at the end, like once you know the concepts. So I think that leads to the conceptual clarity that we were talking about earlier. So it's not unconventional, but I would say like, okay, we usually don't study it that way. Just like spend time with the questions, spend time with the concepts, right? It's always run. It's, you know.
So to summarize, can I say that, doing VPHO with students, when they still have time to devote to the subject, when they're not in a rush of, finishing one chapter after the other to take care of the Sunday test, the eminent Sunday test. So that period, building up of the concept at the fundamental level, I think that is something that, that started the spark, or, that led to finally, love for the subject and, devotion in the subject. So maybe that VPHO was the trigger, maybe.
I'm not sure about like, sir, this was the only thing, but I think that was like, I think kind of like defined a way that we should approach the subject, I guess. So,
okay.
If you keep it simple, it will be simple.
Great. Okay, Riddhesh, is there any concept or chapter of physics that you find challenging? Like, if I ask this question to you today, will there be a chapter that you can name?
There will always be chapter. Physics is endless, but among the syllabus, I would say, I mean, Do you mean right now or like in my preparation?
Okay, very well. Like, which topic has terrorized you the most at any point in time till now?
I would say nothing has ever terrorized per se, but
Relative terms, in
like
relative terms.
giving difficulty in solving problems and everything. I would say it was surface tension.
I knew that it is coming.
I mean, I can't resist saying that, but it just gave a bit of more difficulty as compared to other chapters. But at the end, it works out.
Next time my students, they fret about surface tension, I will show this clip to them that the IPHO gold medalist, he said that he found surface tension difficult. So, if you're fretting about it, then it's okay. It's all good.
Concept-wise, it is very simple. F equals to gamma L, U equals to gamma L. But problem-wise, there are some things which you need to understand. So, yeah.
Okay. All right, Riddhesh, we know that in IPHO journey, experimental physics plays a crucial role. Like, you have to take care of the experiments, in the camp also. But it is not that much emphasized as part of our regular schooling and not even as part of our JE syllabus. Okay, like JE preparation. Okay, so how did you take care of that?
So first thing, I'm not good at experimentals. I'm just like average. Second is that the first time I did experimental, like seriously for exam would be before going to OCSC, I just went to my school and did a bit of the experiments, the basic one which we have in our curriculums. But the major part was covered in OCSC. They taught experimentals over there, and a more major practice part would be in PDC, pre departure camps, because we were like doing an experiment every day in PDC, 5 hours experiment, or maybe 2.5 hours experiment. So practice is, I think, is more important, and just learning from what you did wrong, because in experiment it's not about your aptitude or something. It's mainly about your speed. If you can complete the experiment, you'll get the marks. The results might be wrong, but you still at least get some marks. So as far as the exam is concerned, I would say it's more about speed, and I think that comes from practice. And I have done mostly the practice from whatever HBCSC people did. Nothing from my side differently.
So the pre-departure camp, they are really helpful. It's not that,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy doing those experiments?
Yeah, I do. A lot. I mean, it's like you have been told for years that there is some mystical village where there are such creatures and everything, and then one day you get to see that everything. So it's obviously, and happy, you will be happy to see that, right? So when you do physics for 2 years on paper and you see that in real life, it's good.
So it was an enthralling experience for you?
It's a good experience. I mean, I won't say it has ended. It's still interesting.
Okay. And did you not feel like at any point in time of breaking that equipment? Because most of the time when the school offers you that equipments, you tend to break it. Most of the students try to break the equipments that they find in the school laboratory. You did not try to do any such thing in HPCSC?
So the thing is that we had to pay for it if we break it. So
yeah. Okay.
And those were like real IPHO apparatus, so we can't actually take that.
So respect was oozing out of you for those instruments.
Yeah, I fear disqualification.
Okay.
I would like to add one more thing. I think experiments has two aspects. One is like taking data, so which I think Riddhesh said like it's he did it there, and second one is like the data analysis,
which we did a bit in Astro.
Yes, so I think the Astro camp helped there. He already knew like how to draw the graphs, how to actually do the analysis and stuff, right? So yeah, I think that also helped.
So, Chandra sir, can I say that preparing for this Astronomy Olympiad, like the international stage, and preparing for IPHO, there would be some kind of overlap in the preparation, or at least whatever you are doing for astronomy, that will help you for physics also, and whatever you're doing for physics, that will come handy for astronomy also. Like, can we say that?
If that's what is your opinion?
I would say it's like astronomy has some part. So in a Venn diagram, if this is physics, that's astronomy. They have some overlap. And it's useful because then you, after doing astronomy, you can do central force motion and orbits and all the celestial mechanics, or maybe even stellar physics, everything easily because you know that stuff. Even in IPHO this year, there was a problem on astrophysics, and it was like easy for me. So it does help, at least in my case, I can say. Also in the case of data analysis, it does help. Then there are things like spherical trigo and everything, but it's not that useful. But it's good to get intuition and everything, so you know how things work. And observations, it's not that useful in physics. So mostly the celestial mechanics and the stellar physics part, and the data analysis part, which is used in experimental. So yeah.
I would like to just add one more aspect to it. Means apart from like the academic things that Riddhesh pointed out, one thing I would say, like because in class 10th he did astro preparation, right? So I guess like it prepared you mentally, like you are not afraid of really long problems. If a problem is like 2 pages or 3 pages long, so you just don't get scared of them, and your comprehension skills, I think, improve a lot. Means you could give like a new situation to a person, like, and he has to read it through like those 3 pages, get to know like, okay, what are they explaining and what is required of you, and then you are able to connect that to your basic concept and apply that at the same time. So that's something that I think you have to learn, and I think that was like one stepping stone, I would say, like in IOA it was helpful in that way also.
So all the 10 graders, if you are gearing up for IOAA exam, if you are trying to prepare for Astronomy Olympiad, then rest assured your preparation is also paving a way for your IPHO preparation. So, you know, sometimes you believe that astronomy is not a core subject in JEE, so how will it help us? But it is definitely helping you guys. Okay, Riddhesh, looking back at your journey, you know, reflecting back on your journey, is there anything that you would want to do differently? Like, you feel something went in a way which could have been better?
I mean, I can talk about exams that I could have done that problem in a correct way, but that's not something which I should say. Preparation-wise, I don't feel that there should be any difference because look, I got the gold. So what? I mean,
So
you get the point, right?
yeah,
But
all well done. Yeah.
One thing I would say is that which I didn't do, and I am looking forward to doing it for JEE, is that making like notebook which has my mistakes written in it. So yeah,
I think that's a very important, very crucial point, that what you're saying is that there should be a separate notebook in which you are noting down the errors, the mistakes that you have committed.
to look before the exam, because you can't always look at the notes or the problems. After a point, there's no point in looking at theory. You have to look at yourself. So,
Dear students, this is a great takeaway from this interview. Like, this is absolute must. You know, you should be able to see the mistakes that you have committed. You should be able to recall, and that copy will help you to recall the things, because if you can recall the mistake that you have committed, then you are decreasing the chances of committing it again. You know, you come across the same question, similar question, you realize that, okay, this was the same situation where I erred before, so this time you can take care of it. You can proceed in a better manner.
this is
Okay.
more helpful in the objective problems, because in before NSEP I felt this, that I have nothing to look and see that what possible mistakes I can make again. In subjective ones, you have enough time to think and look back and see that whether I have done it right or wrong. But in objective ones, you don't have enough time, so you need to get it in your subconscious.
All right. Okay, Riddhesh. My next question is probably a rhetorical question. Like, I know the answer to that question. Okay, but still I would like to ask that. Like, in your journey, in the entire journey, Chandan sir has been your mentor, I'm assuming, but still I will ask you that, you know, your mentor for subject and the role he played in your entire journey. So I want you to talk about that.
So I think I said this before in one interview as well, that if there was no VOS, there won't be any me. It's the similar for Chandan sir. So like, if there was no Chandan sir, I don't think I would be sitting here. I mean, I would be sitting at my home, but not in the interview. So yeah,
That's great.
he is a mentor again. To answer the first question, to second, yeah, I mean, he has helped me in a lot of things which you would expect, you would not expect from a teacher, but you would expect from a guru. So yeah.
Got it. I got the sense. I got the sentiment. There's one information I would like to share with you, just that you mentioned VOS is now VSO. Like, we have changed the name a bit, so it's Vedantu Science Olympiad. So just letting you know, as you are a part of it. So just letting you know that.
I haven't been on YouTube since 2 months.
Okay. So Chandra sir, your take on Riddhesh as a mentee. Like, you have mentored a lot of students now. I would like to know your comments also on Riddhesh.
Okay, so I don't know, sir, like, means how to put it into words. Like, I think means I actually can't put it into words. Means it's so personal, right? Means it's just there. Means like the other day, like when he was leaving for IPHO, he was packing his bags we had video camera on and we were just talking about like half an hour, 45 minutes, random stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing related to academics, just random stuff. Right. So I kind of like have that kind of relationship with him. Right. It's same for the other students also, like Vedant, Daksh, and Dhruv too. Like Dhruv, like he calls up like someday on like Sundays, and then we talk about 1.5 hours, 2 hours on trot. Means like, so I hope to continue that same relation with him also. So it's kind of like really, really personal, I would say. It goes beyond like mentoring and teaching. And
so the real guru shishya relationship, I can say, like not the teacher student, like meaning is the same, translation is the same, but probably the meanings are different, maybe, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.